You have unfinished business. You got work to do. Success starts with you. And sometimes it's gonna get lonely. Sometimes it's gonna be cold. Sometimes you're going to get weary. You have a path that you have to take. And not everybody's going to walk that path with you. If you believe you've been called to be the difference maker, the game changer, the disruptor, the person that comes into a room and commands the atmosphere, the question is, can you give your all? You got two options in this life. You can do what is meaningful, something that is purposeful, what makes you come alive. Or you can sit back and be miserable and be afraid to take the leap of faith. It is diligence and dedication and determination that separates the all-time greats from the one-hit wonders. Do you want to do this thing one time? Or do you want to be notorious for winning over and over and over again? I don't know what your dream is, but if you write it down and you put the work in, at some point, everything's going to begin to change. You will need to normalize in your mind walking alone. You got to get up on your own. You got to be able to make big decisions on your own. You got to lose weight on your own. There are a myriad of targets you have to hit by yourself. Oftentimes, it's the people that go away into a very healthy isolation to equip themselves, to condition themselves, to educate themselves, to come out empowered. And so you got to get into this workspace where you can do it by yourself. It doesn't matter if it's the office, it doesn't matter if it's the gym, it doesn't matter if it's the court, it doesn't matter if it's the field, it doesn't matter what arena you are stepping into. You got to get to that place where you don't need attention, you don't need recognition, you don't need the accolades. You just want to put in the work, and the next time you surface, the next time you show up, it's game over.
If you throw me to the wolves, I'll return, leading the pack. You see, a wolf is willing to leave its pack behind and find a new one. The time is now when we must adopt the wolf mentality. Be relentless, resilient, never quit, and never look back.
I know what it feels like to be fractured and falling into pieces. But you gotta silence the voices in your head that are telling you you need a shortcut, you need a cheat code. Eliminate the negative, self-sabotaging voices. Find a mirror and tell yourself, I got this today. I got this today. I'm gonna make it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to build it. All I have is all I need. Resources may come and go. People may come and go. But I've got a vision, and I've got the provision, and I've got the determination and the discipline to hit my aims and to punch through my targets. Can you do this thing without attention? Can you do this thing without public affirmation? Can you do this thing without people telling you that you are everything to them? Without people applauding you and saying you're great, you're awesome, oh, you're amazing. Can you do this thing alone? Can you be your own cheerleader for a moment? Can you be your own hype man for a moment? Can you tell you, I'm good enough, I got this, that all I have is all I need? I believe in friendships and partnerships and collaboration and counsel and advice. But there are some things in life you are going to have to do alone. There are some arenas you're going to have to show up in, and nobody is coming. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to show you a shortcut. You got to figure this out on your own. For most of us, nobody's going to feed us. You got to feed yourself. You want to lose the weight? You want to reach your target, your aim? You got to put the work in. You got to feed yourself the food that is required to power the body that you want. It's not about trying to be a lone ranger more than it is about taking responsibility and prioritizing yourself first. There are some things in life nobody's gonna show up. It's all on you. I need you to find a mirror right now and tell yourself, it's all on me. It's all on me. This one is all on me. When I go get this degree, ultimately, I gotta go get this degree. When I go get this certification, ultimately, I got to get this certification. I've got to finish strong. I've got to condition myself. I've got to go get the education. I've got to get out of bed. I've got to go to the gym. I gotta eat clean. Nobody's gonna feed me. I gotta feed myself. If you're listening to me right now in the gym, on your walk, on your run, you're lifting, you're building, you're creating, you're imagining something, I just need you to push, and I need you to believe that you don't need the spotter, that you don't need the training wheels, that it is your time, that it is your turn, and you no longer need help, you no longer need assistance in this area of your life. Push like you have never pushed before. Give it everything you have, because that spotter is not going to be there for you for the rest of your life. If you want to grow 1 millimeter more, if you want to push, just push a little harder. Everybody wants to grow a little bit taller, so we got to push a little bit harder. Life is lived on levels, and I can't bring my spotter with me. The spotter cannot walk with you all of your life. At some point, you got to say, I got this. I got this. Push! Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I got this. I got this. If I have to do it alone, I will. Because to fulfill this vision, to fulfill my destiny, ultimately, I am depending on the God that put the dream in my heart and myself. With tears in your eyes, with broken hands and a heavy heart, if nobody is there and you are in a room by yourself, start alone, but get started. Help is coming, but everything rises and falls on you. Oftentimes, the people that you wanted in your life will reject you, and that rejection is protection. It is a blessing, because it's the same people that rejected you that will need you and that will rely on you. Come on, how many people have you tried to help and you were bleeding, battered, and broken? How many times have you called for help and the help was toxic? Come on, how many times have you asked for advice and the advice brought more adversity? Take responsibility for yourself. Take control of your life. I need you to understand your worth and stop playing the blame game. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that hurt you, you brought them into your life. And so you got to reflect over the past. You have to acknowledge the present, and you have to cast vision for your future and take accountability and kill the self-condemnation. Stop tearing yourself down on the inside. Stop saying one thing, thinking another, and acting in a whole nother way. How you think is how you talk, and how you talk must be how you behave. Because your thoughts will determine your behavior, and your behavior determines your future. And so everything's got to line up. And so you need an alignment, an internal alignment. I can't align you. You got to make a decision to align yourself. You can hear a speech and make a decision, but every day you have to make that decision. That decision has to evolve into discipline. And discipline turns into mastery. And mastery builds momentum. You're not going to always get it right, but you got to keep going. When you start alone, you possess a power that few can handle. You are alive for a reason. Why on earth are you here? This is your day. You've got a window. You've got another 24 hours because you may not make it to tomorrow. And I'm just wondering what you're going to do with the day. The reason why days often feel meaningless and mundane is because we are directionless. You got to get some direction. I'm just wondering, what are you going to do in this next 24 hours that you did not do? I'm just wondering if you're going to level up 2 millimeters more than you did yesterday. Are you going to get better? Are you going to get stronger? Are you going to get wiser? Are you going to see this thing differently? I'm just wondering, when are you going to see the power of 24 hours? That you did not have to wake up, that God did not have to give you another opportunity to be here, another opportunity to forgive somebody, another opportunity to let it go, another opportunity to look up and get up. I'm just wondering, when are you going to seize the opportunity? Accept where you are. Get cognizant about your money. Get cognizant about your relationships. Where are you mentally? Where are you spiritually and emotionally and financially and economically? Are you driving what you are destined to drive? Where's your health? Where's your heart? Let's get aware of where we are. This is my day to read a new book. This is my day to start a journey. This is my day to make an investment. This is my day to invest in myself. This is my day and this is my time, and it's my turn to crush this day. This is the day I learn like I never have. This is the day I invest like I never have. This is the day I take it seriously. I got one window. I may not be here tomorrow. I'm just wondering if you're going to rise and see the opportunity. Get up, get up, get up. You've got a day to conquer. If the day's going to be good, I got to heal from the mistakes that were made yesterday. I've got to believe that I don't have to make the same mistakes. It's time to heal. Today I heal. Today I heal from every mistake that is made. Today I heal from everything that I said that I could have said better, and everything that was said to me that I wish was never said. I heal today from the people that pushed me verbally but did not support me physically, that were never present. Today I heal, I heal, I heal. I heal from what I did not have. I heal from what I did have that I did not want. Today I heal. After we heal, we have to acknowledge what went wrong. What could I have done differently? What boundaries did I allow to be breached? Relationally, financially, with my investments, with my mindset. Where did I put my energy and I didn't get anything back in return? It's like investing in a vending machine with a sign on it that says out of order. And I'm convinced that many of us invest in people and places that are just simply out of order. And this is why we're drained. And this is why we're tired. And this is why we're weary and well-doing. And this is why the day is mundane and it's the same old, same old. Something's got to change with you. I'm just wondering if you're going to repeat the cycle. If the redundancy of mediocrity is going to continue. We've got purpose and we've got fulfillment and we've got destiny breathing down our necks. Let's accept the truth. This is the only way the day matters, is if we get aware of what's happening and what's going on. What has my attention? Do I have the attention span of a toddler or a champion? And so once we accept where we are and we accept that truth, we got to give ourselves time to heal. We got to learn from not only our mistakes, but learn from others' mistakes. We have to study why we fail, how we fail, and we've got to ensure that we never do it again. If you're going to win the war for the day, you're going to have a high threshold for pain. You will be offended. People will let you down. People will lie to you. Places, circumstances, life will unfold and unravel. This life will knock you in your mouth. But you got to stay focused. Even when it's painful, even when we're ostracized, even when we're excommunicated and ghosted, it may hurt, but that pain will subside. If you're going to crush this day, this week, this month, this quarter, and this year, and if the rest of your life is going to be the best of your life, you're going to have to think differently, plan differently, set the goal, and you're going to have to write it down. You've got to get clear, you've got to get specific, and once you get specific, what you wrote down mandates what you do. I said it before, I say it again. Oftentimes, the day feels mundane and meaningless because we are directionless. Write the vision down. Get clear, get specific, write it down. Document it. Get serious about it. Write it, read it. If you want to see success, then you need to make the planning stages significant, and you need to see the value in the process. We want wealth, but we don't want a plan. We want success, but we don't want significance. We want connection, but we don't want correction. I've got to write it down, and not only write it down, but I need my circle of accountability to correct things that may be wrong. Because if you're trying to build this dream and walk in your destiny by yourself, if you think you can pull it off with no help, with no purpose partner, then it's too small. I'm speaking healing over you. I'm speaking breakthrough over you. I'm speaking that you walk into your future, that you'll let go of what was to step into what is. I believe this for you. I believe that as you become and not just do, that what you seek will pursue you. Destiny will begin to chase you down. No matter how far you have sunk, no matter how hard you have fallen, you've got enough grit, you've got enough grace, you've got enough faith, you've got enough courage to stand up. It's time to rise. This is your day. Get up and conquer your day. Destiny is calling. Even now. Many of you listening to me have been beautifully equipped to live in a world that no longer exists. But I want to give you a new word for change, and that word is evolution. And you are either going to evolve or expire. See, everything changes. The economy changes, relationships changes. We change mentally and emotionally and physically, and you are either dying or you are either living. Every time you made a change, you got hurt. And so this is why when you hear the word change, there is a mental block. You cannot change because you have equated change with pain. Every time you have changed, you feel pain. You stepped out of one relationship to another and you feel pain. You leave one neighborhood to another and you feel pain. You go from one job to another and you feel the fire of transition. So every time you hear the word change, you see pain. Every time they say it's time to make a difference, every time they say you need to go from this place to that place, all you can see is blood in your eyes. All you can feel is the blood and trauma in your mouth, hypnotized by the pain of change. Evolve your belief system. Change is not pain. See change as growth. See change as transformation. See change as evolution. See change as necessary. See change as critical. See change as inevitable. And the more and more you start to see that change is not pain, you're going to see transformation. Your life's going to experience a quantum leap, because now, even though in your childhood you were traumatized because of change, your history is not your destiny. See, those of you who will evolve, who are willing to evolve, you will inherit the future. Those of you who are willing to take everything you do to the next level, you will inherit the future. It is the individual who is willing to become more. Change is inevitable, and you are either changing for the worse or changing for the better. You decide. Change is an invitation to the future. If I can change, I can have my future. Another reason why people hate change is because not only do they see change as pain, but all they see change is as failure. And it's because every time you've made a change, you have failed. And you have to start identifying change with a new layer of belief. People tell me all the time, it's hard to get wealthy. It's hard to grind. It's hard to be focused. How do you even do these speeches? It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay broke. It's hard to stay depressed. It's hard to stay governed by anxiety. It's hard to be inconsistent. It's hard not to have daily disciplines. It's hard not to believe in yourself. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to be poor. It's hard. It's all hard. So choose your heart. You either gonna work for it, you're gonna sit there and let life knock you down and dare you to get back up. So I see the privilege. I see the moment. I see change as pleasure. I see change as transformation. I see change as evolution. I see change as beauty, brilliance. I see change as the future. I see change as necessary. I see that if I don't change, there is a generation of people who are going to be stuck in the same place. If I don't evolve. See, the marketplace rewards those who have evolved. The marketplace rewards those who have become more valuable. You will be rewarded for the pain. Cry in secret, bleed in secret, but in public you'll be rewarded. And if everything you listen to goes over your head, you are going to miss your moment and stay living in the midst of the madness of impossibility, the lie. Somebody lied to you and told you that it was impossible. Every time somebody told me I could not do something, I had a decision that I had to make in order to achieve what they said was impossible. The power is wrapped in the truth and in the power of their perspective. It's wrapped in your capacity, your ability to believe in a dream, even if nobody believes in you. Destiny is calling. Your perspective can either become your prison or your passport. It can either arrest you or release you. In 1903, it was the Wright brothers that defied the laws of gravity. And if you know anything about gravity, gravity will pull you down and keep you down. It will stop you from flight. It will stop you in your tracks. If you believe in something, metaphorically speaking, gravity will hold you down, it will hold you back, and it will dare you to fight. Your perspective can either be your prison or your plane. I don't know about you, but today, I made the decision to defy the laws of gravity. The first successful heavier-than-air powered aircraft was designed and built by the Wright brothers. They flew it 4 times on December 17, 1903, near Kill Devil Hills, about 4 miles. I believe possibility is destiny, and it is fear that keeps us arrested and apprehended by the spirit of impossibility. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and nobody else is gonna tell you this. Impossible is a spirit, and you've got to arrest that spirit or it will arrest you. Impossibility is like a soda fountain, the easy way out, the path of least resistance, because to say something is impossible, to give up, to cop out, to fill your cup of carbonated excuses. It tastes good, but it doesn't sit well as it goes down into your system. To remove the two letters is the grit of existence, the binding faith of hope to your chest and letting your heart beat. You gotta rewrite the code, you gotta rewrite the script. Calling all reformers, I'm calling all innovators, I'm calling all game changers, I'm calling all world shakers, I'm calling all city shifters, I'm calling everybody that has an inkling of faith in themselves, I'm calling everybody. You will inherit the future. We got to rewrite the code in our soul because it's a matter of the soul. It's a matter of the will. People that have a will to win are the ones who win. These are the people that see the future. These are the people that see not where the hockey puck is, but they see where the hockey puck is going. And that's the type of person that we all need to evolve to become. I learned years ago that the difference between people that get things done and people that do not is sheer willpower. Out of all the motivational speeches you have heard, how much of it have you retained and applied to your life? Because understanding the power and the difference between what is impossible and what is possible, it all comes back to your perspective and your capacity. If your why is big enough, then your will be powerful enough to persevere through the how. You're not looking for resources when you have a will. You become resourceful. And that's the difference between people that see this thing as possible and people that do not. It comes down to one thing, and that is your will. So you don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. That's why you can't get it done. And so the how intimidates you. And the what boxes you in. We're more concerned about collaboration than character. I think we need to come back to a place where we're examining ourselves as an individual before a people. We make the people better when we deal with the person. You got to deal with the person. You got to deal with you. It's always going to be impossible to you if you don't see the power of your will and the power of your why.
Again. Type it in the chat. Again. If it's life-giving, if it's serving your purpose, if it's going to transform you into something you never thought you could be, then do it again. Do it again. Type it in the chat. Drop it in the comments, man. Again. This thing served me. This thing helped me. It hurt, but it's helping me. And it's building a bridge to the future and the destiny that I've been called to fulfill. Period. Every time you go back, you're building muscle. You're building mentality. You're building endurance. You're establishing faith. It takes faith to get out of this, to crawl yourself out of a messy history and leave a legacy.
It is the man that refuses to quit. It is the man that refuses to put down his gloves that separates winners from wannabes. It is diligence and dedication and determination that separates the all-time greats from the one-hit wonders. Do you want to do this thing one time? Or do you want to be notorious for winning over and over and over again? I just want to know, is anybody listening that wants to do it again? I don't want to win one time. I don't want to be noticed one time. I don't want to make history one time. I want to do it over and over and over again. Do it again, no matter how hard it was, no matter how much you cried and you sweat and you bled. Do it again.
Again.
Your goals are posted on your wall. You
you commit privately and publicly to the call that's on your life. You think about it day and night. Whatever the goal is, it's time to shatter the ceiling above your head, to break records, to shatter the status quo, to punch through targets. It's your time. It's your turn. You've doubted yourself long enough. People have left you, overlooked you, undervalued you, underpaid you. It's your time to connect. It's your time to get paid. It's your time to sign the deal. It's your time. If you quit, go back, dust yourself off, and try one more time. Show me your habits, and I will show you your future. It is what we do habitually. It is what we do every single day that determines the measure of significance that we get to live this life. Everybody wants to drive something, live somewhere, be connected. There are protocols that must be in place. There are actions that must be taken. Not just thoughts that you must think, but words that you must speak and actions that must be taken, and coordinates to where it is that you are going. You are going somewhere. You're either going back or you're going forward. Everybody wants a comeback, but nobody wants a setback. You can't have a comeback without a setback. You are going to experience loss. You are going to have seasons in your life where you're not going to understand why and how you got where you are. Many of you have been the villain in your own story, and it's time to become the hero. The drama and the chaos, the narrative is about to change. The story is about to clear up. This is not a conversation about going back to everything that you left. There are some things, there are some people, there are some places that once we leave, we don't ever need to go back, because we were tormented and we were haunted and we were abused and we were talked about and we were overlooked and undervalued and underpaid. The reason why you didn't win is because you gave up too soon. You took the exit too quickly. You were on the freeway to freedom. You were en route. You were following the instructions. You were following the coaching. You were listening to the video. Somebody drop it in the comments. I'm listening, I'm listening, I'm listening. I'm staying the course. I'm focused, I'm dialed in. It's the man that stays on the freeway in the middle of a traffic jam and doesn't exit that reaches the point of destiny. Will you put in the work? Will you stay the course? Will you try it again? Are you willing to change perspective, to see this thing differently, to get to the place of optimal performance and significance and fulfillment, where every day you are looking for life, you have an expectation, you have a zeal, you're excited, you're ecstatic. You've got a bold anticipation for the future. With each day that is presented to you, you have an opportunity to change everything. Whatever it is, if it's life-giving, if it's going to impact someone else, if it's going to empower you to live a life of fulfillment and significance, then do it again. You may be in a courtroom, you may be in a cage, you may be on the basketball court, you may be on the football field, you may be down by 40 at halftime. It is the man that comes back round after round that may have taken a beating physically, but he is not broken mentally, that comes back round after round after round after round. And he goes back into the dark room and he puts the work and he comes back out into the light and he puts on a show, put on a show. I'm talking to every builder, every athlete, every professional, every stay-at-home mom, every father that puts in the work day and night to provide for his family. I don't know what your dream is. I don't see your vision, but if you write it down and you put the work in and you beat on your craft and you give it everything you have and you give yourself to your work, At some point, everything's going to begin to shift and change because you refuse to quit. This isn't just a conversation about trying again. This is a conversation about winning again. When we try something again and again and again, eventually, when we set a target and we begin to run towards it, no matter how many times we are beaten out, eventually we run through the target. And so trying again becomes win again. And I just came to tell somebody today that's listening to me that eventually you're not going to be the man or the woman, the boy, the girl that tries again. Eventually,
there is a warrior inside of you that will emerge. There is a person that refuses to lose, that will be birthed out of a setback. And you are no longer the person who is known for coming back from a loss, but you are known for the person that wins again and again and again. No matter how many times I face this giant, I am surrounded by walls 100 times taller than me. They gotta fall down because I have made winning a habit.
Win again, punch through again. You gotta get out of this trying mentality. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna give it a try. I will break out of the I'm gonna try. I'll try to smile. I'll try to be happy. I'll try to make it a good day. I will smile. I will make it a good day. I will win again. I will bring my A game again. I will give it everything I have again. This mentality, this approach to living is what builds the bridges to the future. This is how we cement our legacy. He is a man, she is a woman that was born to shock the world. You don't have the luxury of staying where you are. You've been here long enough. And the only way you're going to get out of this prison that you've made yourself is if you learn the art of self-discipline. You got two options in this life. You can do what is meaningful, something that is purposeful, what makes you come alive. Or you can sit back and be miserable and be afraid to take the leap of faith. Two options. You say, Marcus, I'm afraid to take the leap of faith. I'm afraid to take action. I'm afraid to move forward. You should be terrified to stay where you are. In the game of life, in the realm of accomplishing something, there will be fear, there will be some hesitation. You may want to think about it for a moment. But after a while, you got to take action. You got to take a leap of faith. Either you die where you are standing, or you make a decision to move forward. It is by design that you are listening to me. This is your moment. It's your turn. It's your time. If you're going to break the negative, life-taking cycles in your life, the cycles that diametrically oppose the calling and the destiny that's on your life, number one, you got to become aware. I got to get really aware that, you know what? I got some cycles in my life. I haven't pinpointed them yet, but I got some cycles in my life. Number two, I'm going to have to start identifying what are those self-sabotaging cycles, behaviors, patterns, and paradigms. What are they? I have to be willing to admit them. I have to be willing to write them down and accept the fact that, you know what? There are some cycles that have been set off in my life, and it's my fault. I'm no longer playing the blame game. It's my fault I do what I do. It's my fault I said what I said. It's my fault I'm still attached to this person. It's my fault I'm still attached to this place. For many of us, poverty is a cycle, and it was passed down environmentally, generationally, through your experiences. You learned how to be poor. You learned how to just have a job, go home, and watch TV. I don't want to make a bold, sweeping, absolute statement and say that all poor people have poor mentalities. Most poor people suffer from a state, a condition, a lack of resourcefulness. Not a lack of resources, a lack of resourcefulness. They make excuses. They procrastinate. They settle. They complain. They move at the speed of their regrets and their shame and their defeat. They live in the past.
They operate in the realm of hopelessness. And this is that one video, that one speech that's about to change everything. Because the new you is about to flip the table over of procrastination and punch through targets and wake up and realize that at some point you are going to die. You will not live forever in this world. Not this world. At some point you are going to die. And what will you leave behind? What kind of legacy? What kind of history? What kind of story are you going to leave behind? When we unpack the psychology of a champion, a winner, they already see themselves at the finish line. Most wealthy people started with an idea before they had the dollar. So my question for you today is, what's your idea? What's your calling? What's your product? What have you given to the world? Discipline is realizing that I don't need a resource, that I don't need a handout. I need a new skill set. I need a new mindset. I don't want a handout. I don't need a favor. I don't need you to believe in me. I don't need you to see me. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to understand me. I understand me. I like me. I love me. I'm working on me. I'm training myself. I'm conditioning myself. You can love me, hate me, like me, fear me. It doesn't matter. I will fulfill my destiny. I will not stop training. I will not complain because nobody showed up. I will not complain because you're not getting this. I got work to do. I got training to put in. I tell people all the time, note takers are world changers. That's why I'm telling you, drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. Let the world know your next move. I know people always say, don't tell nobody your next move. Sometimes you need some people to like your post. Sometimes you need some people to come into agreement with you. If just one person sees what I said, maybe then I can manifest this thing. The poverty that we experience is a symptom of something that has happened on the inside of us. These paradigms, these programs, these mindsets, these ideas, this methodology, this way of living was passed down to us. And so number one, you got to become aware that something's off on the inside of you. Something's broken. There is a rewire required in order to go to that next level in our finances. Everything we do needs to elevate, and it starts with you. Wealth is not coming to you. Wealth comes from you as you contribute to the economy. As you drive humanity forward, you get rewarded based upon your contribution. Everybody you know that's wealthy is investing and creating. One of the chief problems with poor people is that they don't want to contribute, and they trade time for money. And the only thing that they contribute is enough to get a check. So that's why when they get the check, they spend the check on entertainment. They spend the check on stuff that's not going to make them any money. Wealthy people turn their dollars into soldiers. They put their money to work. They invest in systems. They invest in programs. They invest in real estate. They invest in opportunities that will make them more money. Poor people get paid. They live check to check, and they spend that money on entertainment because they want a break from working for the 9 to 5. So they have a budget for entertainment, but they have no budget for education, personal and professional development. They have no budget for coaching. They have no budget for the content required. You're still watching the news. The news is telling you it's about to be a recession. And so you go get another job while others are stepping into opportunities that are recession-proof. The worse the world gets, the more money I make, and we can all have that testimony. What will you create? What will you step into? How will you collaborate? What can you pioneer? How can you blaze a trail? How can you leave the generations to come a legacy of a wealth mentality? What I need you to realize today is that money, zip codes, area codes, cars, and clothes is not the only evidence of wealth. You can change your mindset, your mentality, your methodology, shift your habits right now and experience a measure of abundance and wealth. Everybody wants to fly, but nobody wants to jump. And when we get to the edge of a thing, when we get to the end of a thing, when you've done all you can do, but you know there's more, and you get to the edge of a thing, the end of a thing, when you come to the conclusion of the whole matter, you gotta jump. You gotta jump. I don't know what the opportunity is. I don't know what room you're about to walk into next, what table you're about to sit at. Your entire world is about to change, but you gotta jump. Doors are opening up. If you're hearing me, type it in the comments. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. Type it in the chat. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. We all have a purpose. We all have a destiny. We all have rooms to walk into and tables to sit at and contracts to sign. We all have an assignment to advance the human race, to move a generation forward, to leave a legacy. One of the things I've discovered that people just really don't accept is the fact that at some point in your life, you are going to come to the edge of a thing. And when you get there, it's called the precipice. When you get there, you can either stand there and die, or you can take the leap of faith. And if you're listening to me, then you know it's time to cast out all negativity. Don't be the pessimist, be the impure optimist. Believe that it's possible. Get in your own head, because your life is a direct printout of everything that you're thinking. That's what manifests. What are you thinking about? I don't care how bad the day has been. I don't care how bad you think your day has been. Think on whatsoever things are beautiful, productive. Think on courage and determination and grit and resilience. Everybody talks about ROI, return on investment. Let me talk to you about COI. You see, COI is the cost of inaction. What will happen if I don't do something about this situation? Because change is not coming to me. Change is coming from me. I have everything I need. You have to believe that you have everything you need to take a step forward, to take a step in the right direction. Every day that you wake up, there is a fork in the road. Either you're gonna lean to the left or make the right decision. Everybody wants destiny. Everybody wants manifestation. Everybody wants fulfillment. Everybody wants the next level in the relationship and a higher quality of living. But nobody wants to eliminate distractions. Nobody wants to disappear for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and eliminate all distractions and get into a place where you can focus on just you. What if you could just shut out every distraction? What if you could just shut out the world for just a season and focus on you? A man is rewarded in public for what he does in private. The reason why you don't see it, the reason why it has not manifested, the reason why you are so frustrated is because you have not been willing to forsake all that you've been called to forsake and to follow through behind closed doors. I'm just wondering if there's anybody that can hear my voice right now that has come to the end of themselves and they are willing to eliminate distractions. They are willing to delete social media apps if they have to. They are willing to walk away from everything that is distracted, everything that has diluted your devotion and your determination, every disease and dysfunction and disorder that has pulled you from destiny. I'm just wondering if there's anybody here that wants their future, that wants to fulfill their destiny, that wants to manifest, that wants to walk in discipline and determination. I'm just wondering, is there anybody here that's willing to disappear? Are you willing to forsake all distractions? Can you hide yourself in the library? Can you hide yourself in the gym? Can you hide yourself in the boardroom and plan and caucus and do what is required behind the scenes in order to manifest the moment? Can you hide yourself in your books? Can you hide yourself in your closet? Can you hide yourself in the prayer rooms? Can you hide yourself? We have this passion to be in the public eye, but no patience to do the work behind the scenes. Stop telling the world what you are about to do. All you need is one person to hold you accountable. After you have heard it, after you have received it, after you have written it down, after you have spoken it once, do what is required to manifest it into reality. If you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. Stop telling everybody what you're going to do and just disappear and do the work that is required. You have to have a marriage mentality when it comes to achieving what it is that's on the inside of you, what it is that's in your head, to manifest it and hold it in your hands. You have to have a marriage mentality. The problem with many of you is you keep dating the idea, the potential of focus and success and determination and discipline. You're only disciplined once a week. You're only determined twice a week. You're only enthusiastic about the journey on Sundays or Wednesdays. And once you get a covenant, once you make a covenant with who you believe God has called you to be, and you say, now, you know what? I'm going to commit to this. You're going to put the blood, you're going to put the sweat, you're going to put the tears in, you're going to lose sleep. You're gonna go days without eating. You're gonna do whatever it takes to make the sacrifices necessary to manifest. There are too many people in your life who have left you. There are too many people in your life who have counted you out. There are too many people in your life who have whispered in your ear and said, you'll be worse off without them. Prove them wrong. Keep loving those who have lied on you. Keep blessing those who have cursed you. Don't be bitter. Don't be frustrated. Listen, just remain faithful behind the scenes. Promotion is coming. Stages and opportunities are being prepared right now as you sacrifice in secret, as you put the work in the dark room, as you do what is required to hold in your hand what you see in your head.
If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna accomplish it, if you're gonna achieve it, even if you're confused and it's cold and it looks crazy, and you're gonna need to know the difference between contribution and commitment, because they're two very different things. See, everybody wants to contribute to destiny, but nobody wants to be committed to destiny. You wanna contribute to the idea that you can be something. You wanna contribute to the idea that something's gonna come of the sacrifice that you have made. But the question I want to ask you is, are you committed? And so this time it's got to be personal. And you may not feel qualified. You may not feel like you are educated enough. You may not feel like you're connected enough. You may not think that enough people are aware of you, cognizant of you, because you don't have a blue check and you're not a celebrity yet. But you got to work hard in silence. You gotta work when nobody's watching. You gotta sacrifice behind the scenes. You gotta take it personal. When you take it personal, your private life changes. Everybody wants public authority, but nobody wants private discipline. When your habits change behind the scenes, when your private life begins to shift, when you put aside the things that are not serving you, if you can make it personal, it's personal. It doesn't start with them and they. It starts with me. It starts with me. So make it personal. Let yourself go. Fall free into it. Step into it. You are worthy. You are an unrepeatable miracle, and there is none like you in all the earth. There will never be another you. Your DNA, your fingerprint. Come on. Your gait, your presence, your authenticity. Come on. You're special. You're special and you're necessary. But you have not sacrificed. You have not suffered. You are not committed. When you are committed, you give everything you have. Every single week, every single day, every single hour, every single minute, 720 hours a month, you are beating on your craft. Even when you're at work, you're dreaming, you're thinking, you're vision casting, you're writing it down, making it plain, communicating to your destiny connections, so that it can become a reality. If you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. I'm not just putting on the front. I'm not just here in public to make you smile and applaud me and support me and make comments and share my video. I'm not here. I make this thing personal. Everything that I do in public, I've done it in private. And so I'm just asking you, Don't just scream on a stage or be connected to millionaires or strive to be a CEO or an investor or a politician or an athlete or a musician or a singer. I'm just wondering, can you conquer in the dark? When you make it personal, what you do behind closed doors matters. So I'm just wondering when you're gonna make it personal. When you're gonna make it about what it looks like that nobody sees. The part of you that nobody sees, where's your integrity behind the scenes? Come on, where are your values behind the scenes? What do your habits look like behind the scenes? Come on, what kind of work are you putting in behind the scenes? Come on, drop down and give me 50. Come on, write it again. Come on, believe it again. Come on, sing again, record the song again. Come on, I'm talking to that athlete. I'm talking to that musician. Come on, who are you out there? That philosopher, that engineer, that thought leader, that critical thinker, come on, that captain of industry. I'm talking to you. When your personal life lines up with your purpose, then public authority is yours. You want influence? I'm not talking about just fame. I'm talking about influence, the power to change people's lives. Can you stretch yourself? Can you condition yourself? Come on, can you believe again? Can you see it again? Can you write again? Can you make this thing personal? That it doesn't start with the people connected to you. It starts with you. It doesn't even start with your past. It starts with where you are and where you're going. Can you look ahead? Can you stretch forth? Can you condition yourself? Can you prepare yourself for the next thing? Come on, make it personal. It doesn't start with everybody. It starts with me, because people will leave you for dead. And then what's your why? What did God put in you? Release it to the world. If it's going to be personal, make it personal. Don't just be great in public, be great in private. What you do in dark, if I pulled up your search history, what would I find? Would you still be an example to the world? If I went through your closet, if I went through your basement, if I went through your attic, if I went through your center console, if I went through your house, how personal is your purpose? Every single day, you are either losing ground or gaining ground. The choice is yours. But this time, make it personal.
One of the greatest challenges with disappearing is understanding the revelation of building in the dark. The secret of change is to focus all of our energy, not on fighting the old, but building the new, and specifically behind closed doors when nobody's looking, when no one is there to affirm you, when nobody's there to validate you, when nobody is there to agree with you, you build in the dark and you announce it when it's finished. It's time to get real. It's time to get raw. It's time to look ourselves in the mirror and come to the resolve that this version of ourself is not going to carry us in the stretch.
We live in a culture of busyness, distraction, and noise. And sometimes the only way something's going to change is if we disappear. Sometimes you gotta delete the app. Sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes you have to fall back into the dark room. Success starts with you. And sometimes it's gonna get lonely. Sometimes it's gonna be cold. Sometimes you're going to get weary. You have a path that you have to take. And not everybody's going to walk that path with you. You will need to normalize in your mind walking alone. You may have a medical condition for a season, or maybe you have a lifelong injury and you need a little help. But most of us, you don't have that luxury. You gotta get up on your own. You gotta be able to make big decisions on your own. You gotta lose weight on your own. There are a myriad of targets you have to hit by yourself. Oftentimes, it's the people that go away into a very healthy isolation to equip themselves, to condition themselves, to educate themselves, to come out empowered. It's the majority of the people that will need you for their survival. Oftentimes, the people that you wanted in your life will reject you, and that rejection is protection. It is a blessing, because it's the same people that rejected you that will need you and that will rely on you. And so you got to get into this workspace where you can do it by yourself. It doesn't matter if it's the office, it doesn't matter if it's the gym, it doesn't matter if it's the court, it doesn't matter if it's the field, it doesn't matter what arena you are stepping into. You got to get to that place where you don't need attention, you don't need recognition, you don't need the accolades. You just want to put in the work, and the next time you surface, the next time you show up, it's game over. Can you do this thing without attention? Can you do this thing without public affirmation? Can you do this thing without people telling you that you are everything to them? Without people applauding you and saying you're great, you're awesome, oh, you're amazing. Can you do this thing alone? Can you be your own cheerleader for a moment? Can you be your own hype man for a moment? Can you tell you, I'm good enough, I got this, that all I have is all I need? I believe in friendships and partnerships and collaboration and counsel and advice, but there are some things in life you are going to have to do alone. There are some arenas you're going to have to show up in, and nobody is coming. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to give you a cheat code. Nobody's coming to show you a shortcut. You got to figure this out on your own. There are some things in life nobody's going to show up. It's all on you. I need you to find a mirror right now and tell yourself, it's all on me. It's all on me. This one is all on me. When I go get this degree, ultimately, I got to go get this degree. When I go get this certification, ultimately, I got to get this certification. I've got to finish strong. I've got to condition myself. I've got to go get the education. I've got to get out of bed. I've got to go to the gym. I got to eat clean. Nobody's going to feed me. I got to feed myself. For most of us, nobody's going to feed us. You got to feed yourself. You want to lose the weight? You want to reach your target, your aim? You got to put the work in. You got to feed yourself the food that is required to power the body that you want. It's not about trying to be a lone ranger more than it is about taking responsibility and prioritizing yourself first.
And so this is not a message to be bitter, to stay broken, and to carry on with toxic relationships, not trusting anybody. You just gotta know what you've gotta take responsibility for. And so it doesn't matter if it's you or a team or an army. At the end of the day, you've got to manage yourself, manage your mind, manage your will, manage your emotions, manage your hand, manage your temple, manage your heart, manage your responses, manage your money, your mind, your mouth, because what you mismanage, you will lose.
And so you may be dealing with anger and frustration and anxiety and stress and depleted willpower and a lack of authenticity. But the core of it, at the root of all these symptoms, is this desire for attention. Here's my truth. You can listen to me or not listen to me. I'm going to release what's inside of me. I'm going to release my brilliance. I'm going to build it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to release it. I'm going to give it to the world. I know what it feels like to be fractured and falling into pieces. But you got to silence the voices in your head that are telling you, you are not going to make it. You are not going to win. You need a shortcut. You need a cheat code. Eliminate the negative, self-sabotaging voices. Find a mirror and tell yourself, I got this today. I got this today. I'm going to make it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to build it. All I have is all I need. Resources may come and go. People may come and go. But I've got a vision, and I've got the provision, and I've got the determination and the discipline to hit my aims and to punch through my targets. I got one question to ask you. When are you going to realize that your dream will not wait for you? It doesn't matter if you are hungry, if you are thirsty, if you are beaten down, if you are weary. If nobody believes in you just yet, believe in yourself and do it alone. Start alone. You may not have all the confidence, you may not have all the education, the empowerment, the discipline, the determination, the resilience, but start alone. If nobody sees it, if nobody believes it, if nobody supported it, if nobody has shared it, start alone. With tears in your eyes, with a heavy heart, if it feels as though you have nothing left. Everybody wants this family and this army behind them. You want the romance, you want the roses and the dates. But let me tell you something. Relationships are a gift. Friendship is a gift. Marriage is a gift. But singleness is a gift.
People that are not focused on people, but they're focused on their calling, they've got a positive self-awareness. They've got positive self-esteem. They've got powerful self-control. They walk in a measure of mastery with self-awareness, self-esteem, self-control, self-motivation, self-expectancy, self-image, self-direction, self-discipline, self-projection. Like, what do I believe? What am I expecting? Whatever it is you've been called to read or write or build or create. Some of you are in the process of transforming your body. Some of you are in the process of elevating your mindset, establishing new relationships. Do this because you're called to do it, not because you need attention. Just do the work. Push harder, reach farther, run faster. Be the anomaly. Be the one who can step into a room and shift the atmosphere with a confidence and a resilience and a grit because you put the work in. When nobody was paying attention, you paid the price.
We've got to normalize walking some paths by ourselves. Just because somebody starved with you doesn't mean they deserve to eat with you. Success is not for everybody. Valleys are not for everybody. Mountain peaks are not for everybody. Okay, if you're going to take responsibility of your life, you have to remove toxic people, negative people, narcissistic people, people that are not serving the vision. You got to come to the resolve that you are going to eradicate negative self-talk. Clean up your mind and tell yourself, I got this, I got this, I can do this, I can, I will, I must. It's my turn, it's my time. At some point, we've got to stop playing the blame game. We've got to stop riding coattails. We've got to stop pointing fingers at everybody else. We got to take responsibility, and we have to pay the price of results. Everybody pays. We all pay something. And results have a price, and regret have a price. Count up the cost and pay the price. And hear me well, nobody's gonna pay it for you. You've got to pay it yourself every single day. So acknowledge the risk, make the investment, reap the rewards. And if you're going to work well alone on specific projects, if you're going to show up in different arenas on your own, you're going to have to surround yourself with some people that have already done it. Some people that have taken responsibility for their life. Some people that stopped playing the blame game. Some people that stopped crying over their past. Some people that stopped whining over who wounded them. And they take responsibility. You need to find those people. And you need to get some counsel and you need to get some advice. But ultimately, you've got to do it on your own. You ever go to the gym and you see the guy, he's on the bench press, and he's putting weight on the bar that he never has before. And he's got a spotter just in case something happens. But after a while, he does that so many times and he realizes he doesn't need the spotter. And he tells the spotter, I got this. All of a sudden, his bench press max goes up. 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds. Some of you have been afraid to tell your spotter, I don't need you anymore. I got this. I got this. I got this. If you're listening to me right now in the gym, on your walk, on your run, you're lifting, you're building, you're creating, you're imagining something, I just need you to push. And I need you to believe that you don't need the spotter, that you don't need the training wheels, that it is your time, that it is your turn, and you no longer need help. You no longer need assistance in this area of your life. Push like you have never pushed before. Give it everything you have, because that spotter is not going to be there for you for the rest of your life. If you want to grow 1 millimeter more, if you want to push, just push a little harder. Everybody wants to grow a little bit taller, so we got to push a little bit harder. Life is lived on levels, and I can't bring my spotter with me. The spotter cannot walk with you all of your life. At some point, you got to say, I got this. I got this. Push! There's some journeys in life that require you to walk alone. And some demand partnerships, and you got to know which arena you're showing up in at this season of your life. And so when we're talking about this goal, we're talking about this target, we're talking about what it is you're trying to achieve, I need you to ask yourself, how are you managing? How are you managing your mind? How are you managing your emotions? How are you managing your responses? How are you managing your relationships and your financial portfolio? How are you managing? Because again, whatever you mismanage, you lose. And so the number one thing I've got to manage is myself. And so before you influence the world, before you influence one person, I just want to ask you a question. Are you listening to you? Because we all have a vision. If you don't have a vision, get one. What does your world look like? Before I get to relationships and friendships and business partners and collaborations, I've got to first deal with me.
I would rather tell the world what I've done than what I'm going to do. There's enough people talking. Just make the move and don't talk until it's time for the checkmate. Move in silence. One of the most underrated superpowers on earth is moving in silence, thinking in silence, caucusing in silence, meditating, praying, working on your craft, doing the dark work, behind the scenes where nobody can see it, nobody can congratulate you, nobody can affirm you, nobody can celebrate you. I'm doing this thing not to be celebrated. I'm doing this thing not to be noticed and acknowledged and supported. I'm doing this thing because if I don't do this, I'm not going to achieve what it is that I'm after. This is the power of moving in silence. If I'm going to move in silence, I've got to know how to plan in silence and think in silence and meditate and pray and put the work in behind the scenes. Nobody can see it but me. Every rising star that you see, every innovator and trailblazer and creator and philanthropist and minister and business person or athlete or entertainer, we see them at this height, but we don't see the work. You were not there when they cried and they bled and they sweat and they almost quit and they almost threw in the towel and they were left alone to continue the work, to pray, to believe, to think, to caucus, to plan it out and then execute and come back and shock everybody! I'm not gonna say a word until I win. I'm not posting about it. I'm not trying to prep you. You don't need a trailer. I'm going to make an announcement that I won. Not that I'm working, but I won. Checkmate. Checkmate. Somebody shout checkmate. Somebody drop it in the comments. Checkmate. Move in silence. Drop it in the comments. Checkmate. 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 You talked about me, you doubted me, you deserted me, you left me for dead. Watch me checkmate. And I'm gonna do it in silence. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna say a word until I win. There are seasons in life where we get to that need to be played and lived out like a chess game. Don't talk until it's time. A chess player does not talk until the time has come for the checkmate. Man, drop it in the text. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Stop talking about everything you want to do. Checkmate. Successful people have mastered the art of spending time alone. They understand the power and the leverage points when I get time with myself. And I get in my head and I get in my heart and I understand my behaviors and my belief systems and my parameters and what I need to do and how I need to sow and where I need to send my energy and how I need to execute in the day. They understand it's a superpower, but everybody doesn't need to know what you're doing. And this is why we have so many copycats and knockoffs and counterfeits and frauds, because you brought people along with you that were not in your inner circle along throughout your process while you were building it,
instead of just revealing it after it was already done. Because this is the type of season I'm about to step into. You talked about me, you doubted me, you deserted me, you left me for dead. Watch me checkmate, and I'm gonna do it in silence. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna say a word until I win. Just show up and be finished with it. Stop telling the world every step of the process and you haven't won yet. Win, 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 and after you win, then let them interview you. Let the contracts drop on the table. Let the documentary come out, but win without a word. And when you win, checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Understand your limitations. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where are you losing? Where are you winning? How do you need to change your beliefs to align with the correct behaviors? What type of behaviors and parameters and values do you need to have established and hardwired within yourself? Who do I need to become to accomplish what it is I've been destined to do? When you spend that time alone and you can think and you can pray and you can meditate, and everybody's not in your mix, you're able to grow something that could leave a legacy and impact the lives of millions of people. Never underestimate the power of getting alone with yourself and getting dialed in with what you've been called to do and then how you're going to go about doing it. Oftentimes we find the person who's living paycheck to paycheck doesn't want to think. They just want to work and get paid. It's the millionaires and billionaires and six-figure earners and networkers and busy bees and people that are out there shaking hands, stepping into rooms and arenas, building products, creating opportunity, innovators, trailblazers. These are the people that have spent time alone thinking about what it is they've been called to do and how they're going to execute. They moved in silence. They thought alone. They prayed alone, just for a moment, just for a season. Nothing wrong with getting together with friends and family and having a corporate construct, but there is an unfair advantage when I can get along with myself and I can talk to myself in the mirror and tell myself, self, you got stuff to do. Self, you have things to become. Self, there are ways you have to go about this. And you need to be flexible, you need to be agile. Is God first in my house or nothing else? And we start to establish our values and we start to understand ourselves and what makes us tick. Everybody doesn't need to know all the moving parts and the pain and the tears and the sacrifices that you have made. Just show up on stage and win, and after you win, then you can talk about how you won. If your dream only requires you, then it's not big enough. It starts with you, but it doesn't end with you. Your team is coming. Drop it in the comments, man. My team is coming, but it starts with me. My team is coming, but it starts with me. My team is coming, but it starts with me. I need you to breathe. Let this thing go. Release it from your system. And remember, in this very moment, that all you have is all you need. But let's be honest, a lot of what we do is for the attention of everybody. I'm thinking to myself, when are we gonna do this thing? Because we're just called to do it. I don't need to impress you. Are we understanding this? Many of you listening to me are suffering from anxiety and stress and overwhelm. You're checked out. You're about to burn out and tap out and drop out. Some of us are not willing to acknowledge that we are depressed. And when I unpack depression, deep rest, that we are resting in a state of paralysis where we can't move, we're stuck, we're stagnant, and we're stationary. It's all because you are infected with the disease of people pleasing. Trust me, I get it. A lot of what we do is to serve people, is to help people, to empower people. I get it. But you've got to get so in love with what you've been called to do, your design, your distinctives, what sets you apart, that you'll do this thing, even if nobody celebrates you, if nobody understands it, if nobody invests in it, if nobody sees it, if nobody wants to collaborate with you your first year of releasing what it is that you've been called to release, or writing, or building, or creating, if it's just you, will you keep working? And this is all I want to ask you today. Will you keep working? Will you work harder? Will you work smarter? Even if nobody understands it, sees it, celebrates it, likes it, shares it, will you keep going? Today, I let the past go. Today, I'm moving on. Number one, I'm acknowledging that I've got some challenges in my present, and they derive from my past. This is more than an invitation to the future. This is a command to leave your past behind. This is a charge to you in this moment to let it go. You gotta let it go. And so if you're listening to me and you're struggling with feelings of low self-esteem, if you have a hard time saying I'm no, if you're consistently the type of person that apologizes for everything you do, if you neglect your own needs or take blame for something somebody else did, if you pretend to agree with everybody to avoid conflict, then you may be infected with the disease of people pleasing. People pleasing is a type of disorder. People that want to please people, people that need attention, people that need to be supported and loved and appreciated. If you don't love you first and appreciate you first and honor the work first and believe first, nobody else is going to believe. If I want to be free in my present and in my future, I gotta let it go. And so I am aware of what happened to me. I am aware of the trauma. I am aware of the betrayal. I am aware that I am downtrodden and I am battered and broken and weary and tired, and I'm stuck in a place of autopilot where I don't even know what tomorrow looks like. I'm not even free enough to dream about the future because I am so broken from my past. And so one of the next things you're going to have to do is that once you're aware of this state, that you are stuck and stationary and that you live a stagnant type of lifestyle, I'm understanding the trauma effects on my brain and how it changed my behavior. It changed my perspective. I understand what happened to me and I cannot change it, but I can change how I feel about it. I can choose to forgive. I can choose to let go. I can choose to believe. I can choose to dream. I think that it would be so beautiful, so elegant, so sophisticated, so terribly significant if we will start to create, to build, to collab, to be a life-giving force to help somebody. If I just spread my seeds and if I just water where I need to water, that harvest is gonna come. So just work harder and get out of this people-pleasing mentality. There's too many of you that are so wrapped up in agreement with people that are not serving your vision. This is my opportunity for growth, for expansion. The more I release, the more I can become. And the more I become, the more I can attract. What is it that has not been attracted to you? Here's my truth. You can listen to me or not listen to me. I'm going to release what's inside of me. I'm going to release my brilliance. I'm going to build it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to release it. I'm going to give it to the world. And so whoever's going to listen to me is going to listen to me. Whoever's going to support it will support it. Whoever's going to invest will invest. Whoever's going to hire me will hire me. But I'm not doing this thing just for the attention. Stop doing this for the collaboration. Stop doing this for the attention. Stop doing everything with a motive that's not life-giving and life-transforming. If you just want to be seen. Whatever you can't let go of, whatever you can't get over, you have made it an idol. And it simply means that you love it or them more than you love yourself. The question I want to ask you is, how bad do you want your future? People that are not focused on people, but they're focused on their calling, they've got a positive self-awareness, they've got positive self-esteem, they've got powerful self-control. They walk in a measure of mastery with self-awareness, self-esteem, self-control, self-motivation, self-expectancy, self-image, self-direction, self-discipline, self-projection.
Like, what do I believe? What am I expecting? Whatever it is you've been called to read or write or build or create, some of you are in the process of transforming your body. Some of you are in the process of elevating your mindset, establishing new relationships. Do this because you're called to do it, not because you need attention. Just do the work. Push harder, reach farther, run faster.
If an item can be repurposed, then so can a person.
Be the anomaly. Be the one who can step into a room and shift the atmosphere with a confidence and a resilience and a grit because you put the work in. When nobody was paying attention, you paid the price.
Let me tell you something. Amputation without forgiveness is like a virus. Marcus, what are you saying? This means that if you try to go away, if you try to move from it, if you try to get a new area code and a new zip code and a new career, that's just busyness. That's artificial significance. You gotta forgive this person, because going away and changing your zip code and changing your area code and trying to get a new career and marrying somebody else is not going to take the pain away, because you are running from you. You gotta look in the mirror and you gotta decide, I forgive myself for the mistakes I made. I forgive the people for what they did. Everybody wants new, but don't want to become new. It's time to become new. It's your time. It's your turn to live a life of abundance in the fullness of joy and peace and fire and passion and resilience. This is your time. Make this your moment to no longer be a prisoner of the past. The past is not your prison. The past is your platform to build what it is that you were placed in this world to build. Release your brilliance. Release the idea. Step out. Launch it. Build it, create it, imagine it. The time is now. The truth is, some of us prefer familiar sufferings because we are afraid of the unknown. And for many of you listening to me, joy and peace and abundance in the fullness of life is so unknown. It is so uncharted that you are afraid to release. You are afraid